Hello again, everyone, and welcome to the Dad and Daughter Download, presented by the Causeway family of dealerships. I'm the dad, Kevin Williams.
And I'm the daughter, Alex Williams. And we're a boomer dad and millennial daughter talking pop culture, sports, and life, usually for me in Manhattan and dad at the Jersey Shore. I am on location in Florida this week.
You're in Miami, and I just don't understand how we go to Aruba on vacation, and like a week later, now you're in Miami. I know there's a work involvement, but I'm checking out the color you got. You had some pool time over the weekend.
Yeah, I was in Boynton Beach, which is not far from like West Palm,
Okay.
Delray, for a few days with some friends, which was really nice. And now spending some time in Miami for the rest of the week.
Which is on a work assignment.
Yes,
I'll defend you that way. Yeah.
thank you.
Okay. Well, of course, if you've been listening to this with any regularity, we are proudly presented by the Causeway family of dealerships on Route 72 in Manahawkin, where you'll find Ford and Lincoln, Hyundai, Nissan, and Honda. Our family excited to endorse Causeway because they not only service and sell great cars, SUVs, even commercial vehicles, but they're committed to the community through their Causeway Cares Foundation. Now, we are all driving vehicles from Causeway, and I have enthusiastically sent many friends and coworkers there, and they've all had a great experience. They are Ocean County's hometown dealer. So start your search for your next vehicle at causewaycars.com. So we have truly special guests on this week's edition, episode number 14, as we have PJ Gibbs and his daughter Peyton. A little background. PJ is a 1997 graduate of Manasquan High School, where he played football for the legendary Vic Caboo. He is currently Director of Student Services at Kaiser University and Defensive Coordinator at First Baptist Academy in Naples, Florida. Peyton is his 14-year-old daughter, who's an 8th grader, who first gained notoriety, and I was watching when it came on, in September of 2024, when ESPN, as part of their College Game Day show on Saturday mornings, aired a feature on her, which was narrated by Marty Smith. Peyton was diagnosed on the autism spectrum at the age of 1. But what makes her unique is not only her love of football, but the fact that she's a football coach. She will be doing all the analytics for PJ's new school this fall. And with that, we welcome in Peyton and PJ Gibbs. Guys, it is great to have you on.
Great to be here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome to be here. Finally get to do this, and this is great.
Yeah,
This is
we
great.
get
I
to
feel
talk.
like a little bit closer to you guys since I'm in Florida as well, and you guys are, I guess, tuning in from. Are you in Naples?
Yeah. So we're in Naples at the house here, and I know you're enjoying the weather on the East Coast. It's nice here on the West Coast, and not to rub it into your dad, but it's a little bit better than My mom just left. She thawed out for a week, and now she's back in Manasquan.
Yeah, that was a rub, by the way. Yes, thank you very much. PJ, so I'm going to start with you. I just think of you as part of the long blue line. You're a Manasquan guy. How did you end up on the west coast of Florida?
So my brother-in-law, who's now the assistant head coach at Wake Forest, at the time he was at the University of Missouri, and we had my wife Kristen and I had just gotten married. We bought our house in Manasquan, and Peyton had just been born, and he'd come in for the holiday, and he said, listen, he's like, I just got done in Collier County, and I remember Collier County from Ace Ventura when you think about Ray Finkel, right? That's the only reference I had to Collier County, Florida, and so he's like, listen, he's like, I know you have reciprocity with your teaching certificate, like you can go to Florida, get a job, coach. So I really didn't think about it. About a year later, my wife and I, our in-laws had bought a place here in Estero. So, we were, going through some changes. Like I was trying to get a head coaching job. I was trying to get an admin job. Things just weren't clicking. And you know what? I finally came home and I said, I'm going to start applying to places. And Lo and behold, I got 3 interviews in the spring of 2015 and took a job, accepted an offer at Gulf Coast High School, and came to back to my in-laws, and I told my wife, I said, "You ready to do this?" And she's like, "Let's go." So came back. My mom's in real estate, so we sold our house in 10 days, and July 1st of 2015, we had a 3-year-old and a 1.5-year-old and a Honda CRV at 2 a.m. in the morning heading south. So there you go.
That's amazing. That's great. I mean, I love Florida, so that's an exciting move. So we know from the ESPN feature that Peyton was diagnosed around the age of 1 as being on the autism spectrum. So what challenges did that present as she was growing up?
For us, it was, trying to find the right fit for her educationally at such a young age. Coming down here, obviously taking a pay cut teaching wise. And trying to find such good resources in New Jersey for her. It was really trying to navigate, my wife and my mother-in-law did a phenomenal job. Like, I just went out and worked. Like, my wife and mother-in-law deserve all the credit for getting her situated in the right school and getting her the occupational therapy. She stayed with the same Miss Kate. She stayed with the same occupational therapist. So when you watch that video in the game day special of her walking across, that was Miss Kate's therapy. She was with Kate for 8 years.
Wow.
So that was probably the biggest challenge, and then social interaction for her, which if you saw her now, you would never think about it. But getting her involved in, the sports and, get the play groups and stuff like that, for her was extremely hard. And then as she got older and got more experience, and got her around more people, she just started to flourish. So that was kind of the beginning challenges for us when we moved down here.
So the love of football for you, Peyton, and correct me if I'm wrong, seemed to be when you got a PlayStation as a gift. I don't know if it was Christmas or whatever, and you started playing Madden. And is that really what sort of really got you in tune with the sport?
Yeah, so I started playing Madden with my little brother Logan, and the statistics and all, like when you go into franchise mode, you can see all the statistics from all the players, what college they went to, and then I just started playing the game, and just like we went one-on-one against each other. I always beat him, so it was easy.
And like, would you say through that, like, when did you decide you actually wanted to get from the game onto the field and actually become a coach?
I've just been watching college football ever since I was born. I really enjoyed watching Coach Nick Saban and Kirby Smart for the Georgia Bulldogs, and Coach Doran for NC State. I always watched him all the time. NC State's my favorite football team. And just when I saw like that the coaching, I was like, Dad, I want to coach. So I started coaching where? Palmetto Ridge?
You started doing tackling stats at Palmetto Ridge, 2020.
Tackling analyst at Palmetto Ridge High School in Naples in 2020.
So it seemed like, PJ, once your daughter decided that she wanted to be a football coach, she became a sponge and absorbed what you had learned over many, many years and sort of just took up with you and just picked up on things very quickly.
Yeah, really, when I kind of saw, when I would get, she had for one Christmas, she got a Google Chromebook, and, I would be at the dining room table kind of breaking down stuff and doing scattering reports, and and Logan would do it too, like pull up next to me, and I'm like, all right, well, if you're sitting here, you're going to work, like you're going to help me out, you're going to do something. So that year, we had a very good defense, and I just had her start doing inputting things in her Chromebook, and then I'd get her to log into Huddle, and she'd do a little input here and there, not major stuff yet, because that was she was 8 years old at the time, but yeah, so that was and like I told her, like if you're gonna be next to Dad, like you're gonna learn and you're gonna be ready to work.
That's awesome. I love that. So we know, Peyton, in around 2022, we know that you were coaching with your dad during that football season. But a year later, as we saw in the ESPN special, that there was a problem that kind of happened for you off the field.
Yeah, so I got a message from my mom. I was in the car coming home from school, and she just said, "Hey, I just want to let you know that you're not allowed to be on the sideline anymore." and I was very upset. I didn't know what was going on. And then I talked to my grandmother. I call her Gigi. The evening of, and she just said, like, it's gonna be all right. You're gonna be fine. So that whole season, I was on in the bleachers in the stands, just watching my dad coach on the field. So yeah.
I'm sure you hated that. PJ, listen, this had to be tough on you and your wife as well. Was it around this point when you reached out to North Carolina State coach Dave Doeren, who I know you have a relationship with?
Yeah, so it was extremely tough because you're going to work every day where you feel like there's people that have your back, and it was a rough go there for a while. And when that happened, that actually was supposed to be the original year that Game Day was supposed to come do the story. And that was kind of like a snowball thing where I found out they weren't allowed to come, and then the whole thing with her. Obviously, Kev, as a dad, like, you got to go to work, you got to put food on the table for your family. So it was a tough year. And yeah, right when that happened, I reached out to Coach Doeren, and we had been up the year before. His son Jacob is also on the spectrum. So I had Peyton up for the Florida State game, and she went to practice and met all the players and got assigned football, and so that's where him and I kind of connected through that. And we had a couple phone calls, exchanged some text messages, and we called up, and he was like, "Hey, listen, if there's a high school that won't allow her to be on the field," he's like, "there's no reason she can't be on mine." And they had us up for that game against Clemson. She was a coach, in the team meetings, team meal, pre-game meeting, rode the bus to the stadium, did the walk into the locker room, like, ran out on the field, like, everything, team captain, like, everything you guys saw. I mean, like, I gotta say, like, he's one of the most genuinely nice people I've ever met, and means every single word that he says. Like, he's like, this is gonna happen. We stayed in the team hotel that whole weekend. So there's been a lot of positives that have happened out of that big negative. The one thing as a dad, like, the learning experience, obviously for us, but for her to go through that adversity at such a young age, it's just going to make her better for it. She didn't understand it at the time, but she'll be able to face a lot of things now in life and think back to this experience and be like, "Oh, this is nothing. I went through worse." At the age of 12.
Yeah, that's incredible. I think also when you were saying that the coach is such a great person and what you see is what you get, I think we love to hear that because sometimes that's not always the case. So, Peyton, I would love to hear a little bit more from you on what that experience was like when you were able to really serve as, like, the honorary coach during the game that day.
So, when I got the video that he sent, basically what you saw on Game Day, there was a little video clip of where he said, like, "Hey, I'm inviting you over for the Clemson game." My mom is a Clemson alumni, so it was very tough for her to be in red and black instead of orange and purple.
I can imagine.
So it was such a great experience. Got to meet all my favorite players I watch on college football. Peyton Wilson, the linebacker, for NC State. Now he's for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He says his name the same way my name is, P-A-Y. So it was really special to meet him. And the pick six that he did at the game against Clemson to win the game, at the end of the game, he said that pick six was for me. And I was just so inspired by him, and he was awesome.
That's amazing. I went to Penn State, so I don't know if my dad, how he would do if I had to put on Ohio State colors or something like that. But that's so
Michigan fan, so yeah.
Yeah, we ride deep for our teams, but no, hearing that experience is like once in a lifetime. So that's so special that you were able to do that and that they won the game. That's incredible.
Yeah. PJ, since that experience and the ESPN Game Day feature. And I have mentioned to half a dozen people in the last week, and it just so happens they're all sports fans, but they all remember the feature and goes, "Oh, that's right, I remember watching that." But since that aired, what has transpired when it comes to your daughter's coaching career? So,
right after that, we a very good, another kind of similar to Coach Doeren. Coach Don Brown's been a mentor to me for I can remember when I first started coaching at Manasquan, Coach was the head coach when Northeastern had football. he was the head coach and came in and recruited, a couple of the kids. And so, he actually that fall in November for the UConn game had Peyton up, and she scripted all 85 defensive plays for him on the sideline.
Wow.
And stood next to the GA, and he told her, and she scripted it, and she actually caught a offensive tendency UConn was doing and told coach at halftime, and they adjusted, which was nothing I had to do with it. It was all her. But we did that. Went up to UMass that November. Then we're out to dinner. My uncle was down from PA, and my phone's ringing, and it's a Utah number. And I was like, I don't know anybody in Utah. And voicemail, so I checked it, and it was Holly Rowe. And she's like, PJ, hey, it's Holly Rowe. I got your number from Marty Smith. Can you give me a call? Well, she's just started this Joy Us Foundation. And she had saw Peyton's story, and she's like, I want your daughter to come to the Heisman Trophy. And so we set up a call. Peyton got on the call with Holly, and they flew us up, stayed in New York, Times Square, Friday night dinner, met all the former. The cool thing was Ron Dane is a Jersey guy, and I went to high school with his cousin, Steve. So anyway, but so she got to meet all the RG3, Johnny Manziel, Archie Griffin, Steve Spurrier, like you name it, Desmond Howard, and then Travis Hunton and the 4 finalists, and then we went to the ceremony, got to sit next to Neil Everett from SportsCenter. And that was cool. So then after that, Peyton was, her and I had talked about her applying for the 35 under 35 for the AFCA, which is our big coach, the American Football Coaches Association. I've spoke a couple times at the conference, and it was in Charlotte, and she had to do a video or 1,600 word essay. And I was like, what do you want to do? She's like, Dad, I'll write. So with no help from me other than proofreading, she wrote a 1,600 word essay on Nick Saban and cover 7 and my 3 safety defense. And 2 weeks later, I get a call from Mario Price, who's the director of education, and says that Peyton's in, and she's, at 13, she's in this elite club she'll be in for the rest of her life. So we were in Charlotte. We went to the ceremony. She met all her classmates, guys that are, big time college coaches, and now, got to go around and introduce her and, exchange information. And so the last couple of years she was with me at community school in the box, charting plays, cutting film on the iPad. Now she's going into high school, so I want her to enjoy her high school experience. So now she's just going to be strictly doing the analytics, a lot more analytics, but she'll be doing a lot of input data and film tendencies and things like that, because that's something that she aspires to do down the road when she gets to college.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to let Alex jump in with that, but is it fair to say, PJ, that your daughter is kind of like a coaching savant in a way? I mean, I can't imagine any 14-year-old, and of course she started a couple of years ago, doing the things she does. Yeah,
it's for me, like, you always want your kids to have it better than you. I had a really good experience. Obviously, I think back to high school all the time, and still have great relationships with all those guys and all the coaches that coached me. And it's funny. I didn't even mention the Eagles reached out. Jeff Lurie, his brother's on the autism spectrum, so they're the only stadium in the NFL that has a sensory room. When you go to the field. So I'm home here in Naples, and my uncle's the only guy I know in Pennsylvania. So this 215 number comes up on my phone. I don't answer it. 5 seconds later, I get an email. It's from the managing partner of the Philadelphia Eagles. Call me, please, at this number. So I guess Don saw the story, or somebody saw the story, told him. He told Mr. Lurie. Now they were playing in Tampa. Now they invite us up and sideline, and Aaron Moorhead is the receivers coach. He's a coaching colleague of mine. I knew him when he was at Vanderbilt, and I mean the kids met. I don't know.
AJ Brown,
like all these, like we're on the side. They gave us box seats and gear, and So I said to my wife, I'm like, we can't take these kids anywhere. Like they've been everywhere, so
like they're gonna expect that.
So like I can't take them anywhere. But Kev, to get back to your question, it's awesome to see her. And the thing is, like, she's passionate about it. so for me, that like I wouldn't, if she wasn't passionate about it, I would just say, P, like you had a good run, like whatever you want to do, like go be great at it. Dad'll help you any way he can. But she wants to continue this, so it's going to be my job to just put the guardrails on and just guide her. And then after high school, hopefully we go pack up in Raleigh, and we'll see.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, I think your story hopefully like has inspired others, but it's allowed like these open doors. And I think you've built already such an incredible resume for yourself at such a young age. So really like when it comes to like your goals in coaching, what do you want to like, how do you want to continue to grow as a person? And kind of like you said, like, what do you want to go, like, how do you want to go from here?
That's a really tricky question.
Yeah, like, well, what do you through high school?
Do you want to coach?
Do
Like,
you
continue
wanna,
to
do
do
you
it?
want to still coach?
I do want to keep on doing analytics and stuff. I'm going to a Catholic high school, St. John Newman, and I want to do these analytics for the football team and possibly for other sports as well, because there's such a thing as a sports manager where you can help out with analytics for basketball. And most of my friends play basketball. And then I'm really, really like personal finance and business. I love finance and business too.
Wow. So you're numbers. You love numbers.
Yes.
Yep.
And I am that makes one of us because I am the complete opposite. I majored in communications for a reason, but no, that's so incredible. And how would you say that football has helped you grow as a person?
I would say just being with my dad all the time with football, and that's the guy who got me into football. Like ever since I was little, like he was the one who got me into football. No one else did.
Yeah. That's
PJ,
incredible.
sounds like you wouldn't be the least bit surprised if when Peyton gets to the college level, if she's doing something involving sports on some level, whether it's analytics or something along those lines, but focused on sports.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, like I said, she's a 3-sport athlete at her school now, and with the cross country, the track, and the basketball, and I mean, she's gonna. I don't see her not being involved in sports in some capacity. Like, her dream school is NC State. She wants to work with the football program. I mean, maybe if Uncle Justin's still at Wake Forest, if that doesn't work out, you maybe go there. So, but yeah, definitely something to be involved in sports because she's passionate about it.
That's great. So are you a big runner, Peyton, doing cross country and track?
No.
We volunteer her to do cross country.
Yeah, I was not, but here I am going on my second marathon. I'm going to start training for. So you never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
You have both through this whole thing that started when she was younger. I feel like I say younger. She's 14. I mean, that's young. But you have both had to overcome some obstacles to get to where things are today. What lessons have you learned about yourself or about just, PJ, you talked about dealing with adversity?
Yep. I think for me, it takes a lot for me to trust somebody. I think now, when you go through something like that, when you think there's people that are in your corner, that, you really have to be guarded a little bit more, especially like putting yourself out there. And, I have no problem talking about it, but it's like, when you get called into, a meeting and then you're like, what's this about? And you get told these two things and you're just like sitting there like, well, why don't you take care of it? Like, why is this not, just not getting taken care of? But that for me, like it's for me, it's more of like, trusting people, but I think what it did is it brought our family closer. And obviously, like I said, we had so many positives out of that 6 month span of just, coming home every day and, seeing her face as a dad, it was like, and then I got to go to work, it was tough, but something you had to do as a parent. You had to show your kids that you can push through it and, just take care of, your job and do what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, I think the lesson that I would learn is like, just even though like that thing happened, just keep on following your dream and someday it will come true. And that's all I learned from it.
That's incredible.
By the way, do you still beat your brother in Madden?
Not anymore, because I don't play video games a lot anymore.
Oh,
You're too busy. You have a lot of stuff going on.
Yep.
Yeah.
PJ, is your son active in sports?
Yeah, so he's football, basketball. He's starting. The one thing that's a little different down here is so we have spring football. So he's gonna play. He's been on me to do tackle. He plays quarterback and receiver. So he's been on me. So we're gonna give tackle football a try this spring to see if he likes it. He's done flag since he was 5. Point guard for the JV basketball team. Now he's in 6th grade. They have a fishing club. He's actually starting fishing club this Wednesday at school.
All right.
That's very Florida, yeah.
Yes, very much so. Yeah, it would be ice fishing now in New Jersey, not regular fishing.
100%.
Yeah, I was going to say, I can't see the fishing club at Manasquan High School. Do you get up to the shore at all or often?
Yeah, so we go up. My mom's still in our house where I grew up. My grandmother's 94. She still lives around, or her house is still around the corner from the high school. My sister and brother-in-law and nephews are in Brick. All of my friends and most of the former teammates of mine are still there. So I always make it a point. This year, I got to go for Kaiser. I actually got to go speak at Manasquan about Kaiser, and then I took the kids up to the Red Bank game. So brought them to practice, introduced them. Peyton was tiny when we left, so Coach Price and Coach Cahill and all those guys. I got to see Logan. They remember Logan. He was like a little peanut. So yeah, it's cool. It's home, right? Like
Yeah.
I get asked all the time about do you miss? I miss one thing. One thing here in Florida, like if you're practicing on Thanksgiving, you're playing in the regional final. Like, because there's 5 rounds of the playoffs down here. Like,
Yeah.
I miss the Wednesday night, walking down Main Street to the bonfire, getting up and freezing my butt off, getting ready to go play wall on Thanksgiving. That's I miss to death. That's really it. And a little bit of the beach. Yeah, I was a beach guard there for 14 years.
Train to Madison Square Garden.
Well, yeah, and the sports. Like, the accessibility to sports over here is not the best. Being able to hop on a train and go to MSG or take a ferry to Yankee Stadium, that's too. But yeah, it's a Thanksgiving game for me, Kev. To be honest, I'd have that thing on every year. I put it on my HDMI on my big screen in my office, and I'm locked in from 11 to 1.
Yeah, there's only 2 good Thanksgiving days left in the shore. It's Wall and Manasquan and the 2 middle towns, north and south. That's it.
I know.
That's it. And you're right.
Going.
Back in the day, I mean, that was tradition, man.
Yep. And the one thing too, I was thinking about this the other day. I wish the state would go back to home state champion or higher seed state championship games. I
could not agree with you more.
Oh, I saw some old video on I think it's the guy that's the Colts neck and he posted some stuff from Middletown South and Matawan Neptune from the 90s. I'm like, how do you not want that? Like, that's awesome. Yeah. Like, I remember my cousin playing on the 90 Manasquan team and going to see them play against Somerville. No, sorry, it was Voorhees, I think. And it was packed, just packed. But I could talk about that for an hour.
Yeah, I'm the same boat you are, but I sound like an old man, just, whatever. Listen, I know your Manasquan roots run deep. They always will. Vic Caboom meant so much to you and on hundreds, if not thousands of young men. But you and your daughter have formed a terrific partnership. And Peyton, you have inspired, Alex said it earlier, you have inspired many to this point, and I think you will continue to do that. And I wish you nothing but success, and I look forward to hearing about you going to North Carolina State, wearing that red and black and tormenting your mother when they play Clemson.
I always do.
Yeah. And PJ, I'll continue to follow along, but it was really nice of you to join this. Alex, right? It was great.
I know, Mike, this was so amazing. You'll have to let us know next time you're in Manasquan or in the city. We would love to be able to meet in real life, but continuing to follow along, I'm so excited to kind of see what the future holds for both of you, especially you, Peyton. So really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to meet with us.
This has been great, right? This is always fun.
Yes.
Hang out and talk to good people. Yeah. No, thank you guys so much. Yeah, like I said, we hope, with her story, like at least one kid can be inspired to just push through obstacles in life and, the people that did that to her will always be proved wrong by the good that she does. So that's a saving grace every day.
And we need that more than ever today. There's no doubt about it. I will let you know when we're posted, and hopefully you'll share with your friends up at the Jersey Shore. But again, I thank you so much. Really enjoyed spending a little time with you.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Have a great night.
Thank you so much.
All right. That
Bye.
is Peyton and PJ Gibbs. And we really enjoyed chatting with them. We got a couple of other little segments we'll do. But first, we want to talk to you about the Crab's Claw Inn in Lavalette. They've got a couple of events coming up that are designed to make you forget about winter. Although, ironically, the Polar Bear Plunge on Saturday, February 28th, will certainly be cold for those that go in the water. I think the water was 32 degrees the other day, or 33 degrees. But that's a big event in Seaside Heights for the Special Olympics, and people go everywhere after that, before and after. But afterwards, they go all along the strip there in Seaside and Lavalette, and the Crab's Claw is a cool place to hang out after that. And then the next day, Sunday, March 1st, one of the highlights of winter, it's the annual Island Party with entertainment by Artie's Parties from 3 to 7 p.m. They'll have giveaways. Everyone gets a lei. There's drink specials, and it's the perfect escape from the winter blues. Also remember, there are dinner specials Monday through Thursday, and Friday is always prime rib night. For a full list of entertainment and more, visit thecrabsclaw.com.
Okay, you have to give me a minute because my hotel TV just went on, and now I'm going to have background noise, so let me turn that off.
All right. And while she's doing that, continuing the Crab's Claw, I'll remind you the annual Ocean County St. Patrick's Day Parade comes on Saturday, March 7th. And the owner of the Crab's Claw,
Sam is the Grand Marshal, right?
our friend, the one and only Sam the Clam, Sam Hammer, will be the Grand Marshal for this year's parade. Alex, I have not gone to the parade in a few years, partly because of all the medical things I was going through, but I am not going to miss Sam as the Grand Marshal. I will definitely make my way there.
What is the date of that?
Saturday, March 7th.
Oh, you just said, okay, I'll see.
Yeah, you could be anywhere at that time.
I know.
So.
I know.
All
I
right.
don't know.
So kind of a couple quick hitters as we sort of move along on this segment, and that is we're a few days away from the ending of the Winter Olympics. So
Already?
Well, yeah, we come out with this on Wednesday, and the Olympics end the coming weekend.
Wow.
I think the last medal activity is the men's ice hockey, which I believe is on Sunday. And it's looking like it's going to be Canada against the U.S., which, by the way, it's been for just about every Olympic game since they introduced ice hockey, as the professionals, with the exception of one year the U.S. lost to Sweden. But we know this, the women's ice hockey game will feature the U.S. and Canada, and the U.S. lost the Canadians 4 years ago I think it was a shootout.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But they've been playing ridiculous, so we still got that. We still have some other events. The men's figure skating, we're just in it now. We got not men's, the women's figure skating. I'm sorry, the men's figure skating. We know the American choked. Admitting, by the way, that his nerves got to him. Totally admitted it.
How could it not?
Yeah.
The amount of people putting the pressure on him saying he's a shoo-in, he's a 5-point, like you go out there and you're kind of like expected to get it done. And I don't know, I couldn't do it.
I will say this one thing about him. I know his nickname is the Quad God. It's one thing for people to call you that. Don't call yourself that. He wears clothing that says the Quad God. I don't like that. I think it's a little pompous. It's a little pompous. Anyway, okay. So that's the Olympics, and it's been fun. It really has.
I haven't watched as much as I would like to. I think it's because obviously I'm at work, and then at night I'm watching all the other shows I'm watching. So it was on today. Like I have it on, like when it's on at a bar or whatnot. But unfortunately, I didn't watch as much as I would have liked.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So as we sort of wind this baby up, it is time for the Florida version of Kevin Can't Even.
I got a good one because I know you said it's been kind of lame or it hasn't been tough. So I was trying to think, what could I do? And this time of year, I don't know why it feels like every TV show is back. And the amount of shows I have to watch on a weekly basis is kind of insane. It's like the universe is telling me like to not have a social life and to just stay in and watch TV. And now there's new shows coming out I can't keep up. But I thought, Bravo, I love Bravo. I'm going to name 3 different Bravo shows and you have to tell me what you think they're about. Just by the name. Okay? Starting off with Summer House. What do you think that plot is?
Never watched it. I'm going to imagine it's about a group of people that share a house in the summer somewhere, whether it be Long Island, like Montauk or somewhere like that, and how they get along.
Okay. Very good.
Okay.
And they are in the Hamptons.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay, what about Southern Charm?
Oof. Never watched it. I don't know.
You don't even want to guess?
Well, obviously it takes place in the South, and there's got to be some romance involved of some kind, but I don't know.
It's set in Charleston.
Okay.
And it's about a group of people that kind of just following their lives. Some of them come from the South and have kind of like stakes in the ground there and very well established families go dating back. And it's one of the best shows on Bravo. It really is. Like there's people that have been on the show for 11 years that are now in their 40s and still on reality TV. And then obviously you have the newcomers that come in and it really is just following their lives and whatnot. And it's so entertaining.
Clearly I won't be watching it. Okay.
Okay. And then the last one, Vanderpump Rules.
Ugh. I was hoping you asked me Below Deck.
Well, I know you-
Vanderpump Rules is a group of really weird people. It's a dynamic. There's a large group. They have a dynamic, and I know you like some of the people in it. There's some good-looking guys, good-looking women, but I can't tell you the plot.
Okay, so Lisa Vanderpump, she's an original housewife. And
Oh, that's her name. Her name
Yes.
is Vanderpump. Okay.
yep, and she she has a restaurant called Sir in LA, and it was all about the wait staff. And they were not they were already working there, and just because they worked at a restaurant and they were very good looking in their early 20s, there was so much drama that they ended up being on Vanderpump Rules, which the early seasons of that show are such good TV. And then obviously people are not going to work at a restaurant their whole life, probably, especially now that they have some fame. So the cast wasn't doing well, like with the recast, and they just recasted it this year. Whole new cast, net new. I watched the first 2 episodes and I just can't get into it. There's so many other things I'd rather watch. But if you go and watch like the OG seasons, it is elite television.
I can guarantee you none of my friends have ever watched Vanderpump Rules. Well, yeah, I would say if it was on regular TV, Ed Sarluca might have watched
I was
it.
going to say, Luch might have watched an episode.
He might have watched it, but not on Bravo, I don't think. And none of my other friends have watched that. So,
Well,
Yeah.
if you ever need something.
yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, listen, first of all, we really enjoyed PJ and Peyton Gibbs.
Yeah, that was
And,
awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's great what they've done. And has certainly helped her. We didn't get into it, but I think PJ touched on it, but her mom said that, she was socially a little bit awkward, which is very common for those on the spectrum, but the football thing really has opened her up. She was great. She was great.
Yeah.
And I think she'll do well. Want to thank, of course, our friends at the Causeway family of dealerships in Manahawkin, home of Ford, Lincoln, Hyundai, Nissan, Honda. They're the best. I appreciate their support, but I'm telling you, they're an awesome dealership. As a matter of fact, I'm going in on Friday to get my vehicle serviced. I need an oil change, but they're terrific people. And if you're in the market for a new or used car, I just say start your search there because it may end there. And I can only tell you this, that I have never talked to anyone has had a bad experience. And I'm sure there's been somewhere. I mean, that's the nature of the business, but people are very complimentary about the way they do business. They're such a big part of the community. I love them. I really do. And I feel the same way about the Crabs Inn in Lavalette. Their support to us has meant everything. So to them, right? Thank you.
Yeah.
Steve,
Amazing.
of course. Steve Meyer, ShoreSportsInsider.com. That's a way you can actually watch this podcast each week. Watch and listen to the podcast each week. Just go to ShoreSportsInsider.com. Click on the podcast box. It's right there. And, of course, we have, watch this, Alex, Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and now iHeart are always. So
Yeah.
there we go.
Okay.
That's it. We'll be
Well-
back next week.
We'll be back next week.
Enjoy Florida, Alex.
Thanks, Dad. See ya.
Bye, everyone.